Hey, this is Mike White with 143Rhino.com. We're going to the Impressions Expo in Long Beach, California. And we kind of have a little secret idea that we're going to try to challenge a screen printing company to a showdown. Who can make the most t-shirts in the shortest amount of time? Right now we're in the Chicago O'Hare Airport. We're on the halfway point of our journey and we're about to board our flight to go to Los Angeles. So exciting. Oh my goodness, here we go.
So apparently we have to be ready to assist anyone in an accident because we're by the exit door. So mentally I'm ready. I'm not physically ready for that. I'm not built. I am not built.
We made it.
One piece.
Yes. Arrived in LA. Yeah, the first step is to get the rental car. On the shuttle.
All right, we just got a car. Oh.
Step 1 of 2, right? Or no, this is 2 of 2. It's 2 of 3. We arrived, we have the car, now we have to go get the house. And I guess the 4th one would be actually getting to the program and doing the registration. All right, so here we go. Well, we're heading into Impressions. We're here. There's the front entrance right down there. Here we go. We're going to see what we find. So we just ran into this gentleman here at the Impressions Expo, and he is obviously the greatest of all time. It's the GOAT, and he's the Screen Police too. So why don't you tell us about yourself and tell us what the Screen Police are?
Screen Police is a fictional, scary group that if we found out that you're not making your screens correctly, we would put you into detention.
That sounds a little harsh, but we're here for it.
Well, if you have low tension screens, you're not using a meter. Yes, they're going to have to be harsh.
Yeah.
That's why, he's a mean looking kind of a character. So I used to write a column in Screen Printing Magazine, and the Screen Police was a marketing solution to my consulting career. So I've been a screen printing consultant since the 80s. So
that's amazing. I was born in the 80s. So 43 years old today, 1981. So, well, we have a lot of vinyl people, we're with StarCraft, but we're getting into DTF.
So
very
good.
There's a little bit of crossover happening right now. Our objective here is to find someone to challenge them to a showdown. Screen printing versus DTF. And, we're kind of looking for somebody to be an impartial judge.
I'd be happy to help if that's what you're leading up to, so I volunteer.
Yeah, okay. We think that we have a chance with 2 of our DTF machines and our cutting system. So the whole process that we have to produce DTF from start to finish, all the way to a finished garment. We think that we have a chance against an auto. It's a big challenge, right? I mean,
Well,
it's a big ask to compete with an auto.
I'm interrupting and saying, are you including pre-press to that? Because the biggest advantage to anything that's DTF is that it's digital, so there's no screen making.
Oh, absolutely. So pre-press, yes, absolutely. So
That alone, for lower unit of one, Amazon mentality
Right.
kind of things, especially you're doing a pizza store and they need new uniforms every 7 weeks, let's say. And so they're ordering 24, they're 28, but if you make 300 in one go, then, you want to want a different color shirt this time?
Right.
You pull out the transfer, yes, it'll be 20 minutes and you'll have yours.
Right.
And boom,
Right.
it's instant.
But I mean, we're looking at, can we compete with screen printing from a DTF standpoint at a volume level that means something to a screen printer? So, for instance, like 250 shirts of one design and 250 shirts of another design. I'd like to issue a challenge to them from like start to finish.
Full color versus one color.
So we're thinking more like, we would like to do something where like somebody like you set up and maybe got art from somebody like the Impressions Expo, and you had the designs, and like the day of the challenge, everybody's got time to prepare their equipment as much as they possibly could without getting in the actual order and getting the ready artwork. And then like say you released, okay, we're doing 250 shirts of this design and this design, and you hand it to both teams at the same time. You probably see where I'm going with this.
Well,
And
in
they've
5
gotta
minutes,
start-
you'd start having DTF images coming off.
You would. We could decide what's fair based on, the number of shirts. Like, and we could pull that from like real world numbers. Like say, what is an average order size, for a typical screen print shop that would be running an auto like that. Welcome to Impressions Expo 2024. This is the type of equipment that we're interested in learning about, is the full auto screen printing presses. So we're interested in, how much does this cost? How many shirts can it do per hour? And how does this compare to DTF? We got to find out about speed, number of colors. We're going to look at the final result. We're going to feel the hand. But the bottom line with one of these machines, as you can see, it's just getting screened onto the machine automatically. It's getting flashed, and then ultimately it's going through an oven. So let's look at the output of the oven over here. So we're just starting to see a little bit of this coming out of the oven. So we've got these shirts that are finished coming out the other side of the oven, and I believe that's ready to go. This is the first one. Amazingly, we're right here watching the first shirts drop right out. Here we go. Boom. Ready to go. Ship it. All right. So we'll learn more about the screen printing process on a full auto machine like this, because this is what the big boys use. Let's look at this machine for a second. So this is a really big machine. I'm trying to count the number of heads. Let's see, it's like stations, heads, whatever you want to call it. It's got 18. It's an 18 position fully automatic machine, and it's running much faster. It's running much faster than that smaller machine over there. So obviously we have to find out what the price is. This has the very famous digital squeegee as part of the process. So I guess that's doing part of the design with the digital squeegee. And then these other stations, that's why I'm here, is I need to learn this stuff too. So I'm going to try to understand and get somebody that can talk to us about how to use machines like this and what they cost. And then obviously what the output is and what's the cost per shirt. So stick around.
I think DTF, what you guys are doing, not only is it more economical, but it's not as messy.
Dude,
You don't need 15 people working, manual prints versus autos. And
yeah, we run these dual platen heat presses.
Okay.
So it's like, there's a heat press over here, it's got a laser lining it up, another heat press over here, and the thing's on a slide. And it's like 12 seconds, and then you can have a third one that does the finishing press.
Yep.
So this guy doesn't have to position the transfer, so he's just peeling. and then hitting it. And it's a 6-second press. And you can hit speeds of like 200 to 300 shirts per hour.
Wow.
So off the record, I'll tell you, I think we can beat them on price, and we probably can beat them on speed on jobs that are like 500 even to 1,000.
Okay.
Because it's like, if you were like providing the artwork, and my team was ready, the printers were on, their team was as prepped as possible, and you're like, here's the artwork, go.
Yeah.
I want to race from that point.
Gotcha.
Because we'll start printing immediately. Their bigger equipment might actually be able to outdo us.
Sure.
But we can compete on price.
No, that's great.
And we can actually produce a great quality product, especially if it's, you know, something like full color.
Yep.
Oh, we'll just stomp them.
And with price, Michael, you're seeing that the transfers are almost the same as screen printing?
Okay, if
not
you're
less.
printing them, like if you're buying them at home, which it's very cost effective, but it's still, you know, you might be paying like $3 for a transfer at home.
Okay.
But when you're producing them,
Yeah, yeah.
we can get it down to like 10 cents a linear inch. So it's kind of weird pricing, but it's like 22 inches wide, 10 cents a linear inch. So if you get like a 10-inch design, like this would only be like,
Yep.
you know, what, 6 inches?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's 10 cents a linear inch, so 22 inches wide. It's super cheap, like
That's
$1
less than screen
per 10 inch.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, when we used to be buying buckets of paint for $19, and now they're $85. Right. You know, so it's not even close.
It isn't. Yeah, we're gonna make a mark.
No,
you know?
I like it.
We
I
hope
like
so.
it.
These are impressive machines right here. Gosh, there's so many brands in the DTF industry. We just can't talk to all of them, you know. But this, you know, we're interested. I mean, obviously 143 Vinyl wants to make sure they have the right equipment, and we're also doing undercover research here for StarCraft. So it's really important for us to find out what the competitors are doing and show those to everybody as well, because, you know, we don't want to just be thinking that we have the best. We want to know we have the best, and this is how we do it. There's just so many DTF solutions. This embroidery over here, but look at this over here. Look at yet another brand of DTF printer. All of them seem to feature these same like side shakers. So I haven't seen anything with a vertical shaker, so I still feel like StarCraft has a huge advantage. But this is pretty incredible how many options we're seeing in the DTF market out here. It's a bit overwhelming, for me, not expecting this many. How do you know who's good and who to talk to? So, all right, so there's the M&R Copperhead, and we want to see if we can find out how many shirts a machine like this can put out, so we can compare it with our DTF printers. So let's see if we can find somebody. You know, we're just trying to get information. We want to know like how many shirts per hour. You know, how
that part, it's pretty standard for this.
Yeah.
So if you can have your operator that goes up to 950 pieces per hour.
950 pieces per hour?
Yep.
Like, how many colors is that?
The colors, that part doesn't matter because it's just the index.
Okay.
If you set that, it's just going to just keep spinning. What's going to slow you down on your colors, if you notice the white, it takes a little while to lay down nice and clean. Some of the thinner colors, it'll go a bit faster.
So if it's a dark shirt, we're gonna need white though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I'm watching this machine spin, and I mean, is that the bottleneck right there, the white?
Most of the time, changing out your squeegee to a different durometer.
Okay.
And a different angle, you can get the same result, but we do slow everything down at the show. Number one, for the safety around the press.
Oh yeah, this thing was spinning at full speed. It'd be dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's still hard for me to believe 950 pieces per hour. Like, I mean, and I'm just struggling with it. So like, help me understand. Like, I'm watching this thing move right now. Yep. Now, what speed is this running right now?
About 215 pieces an hour. We're purposely running it slower as well for the show, so we can demonstrate all the different
All
features.
the different features it can do? Okay, cool. So how much does a machine like this cost?
That's the part you'd have to ask the guys at the counter.
Okay.
Because the costs here at the show versus
I'm just talking about
standard
regular
ship.
list price, you know? You don't know? Okay. So if we want to ask about price, we should go to the counter?
Yeah, there's a half circle table just
Okay.
right around the Quattro, and then they can direct you to all that stuff right there.
Hey, so we're doing a vlog, and we're trying to understand, we're like wanting to show off the different equipment that M&R sells. Are you all able to tell us the pricing of some of these pieces of equipment?
Okay, let me grab someone really fast, okay?
Okay, cool. Okay, so now we want to try to find maybe a smaller screen printing company than M&R. I think that's just, it's hard to get a straight answer out of those guys about how much it costs. I mean, they're wonderful. I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying, it wasn't really easy to figure out what the cost was. And it sounds like they don't really want to share that information publicly. But maybe we can find somebody a little smaller that will talk to us. I can't even find any screen printing equipment. Everything's DTF. Here's another DTF booth. There's another DTF. It's constant. Maybe over here. Oh yeah, this is the ROQ. So we want to look and talk to these people and see if they can tell us how much this machine is and what its output is. Is there anybody here that asks you questions about this machine?
You would need to go to booth number 1949.
1949?
1949. Grimco has a really big booth over there.
Right.
And they can answer questions.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
Got it. Grimco, booth 1949. Here we go. Okay. We want to talk to the guy with the long hair and the beard. I mean, there's just nobody else that probably knows this machine like that guy does. I know I'm judging a book by its cover there, but I might be right on. You're the man, aren't you?
Am I?
I can tell. I just know it. You know everything about this thing.
I know a lot about it.
All right. Well, most. We just want to know how many shirts per hour can a machine like this do? And I know there's a lot of variables, right?
But I mean, they have a standard for it. I can find it for you real quick.
Okay.
I don't work for this company. I actually just train people how to run these.
I felt the guru coming off of you.
1,200 pieces per hour.
1,200?
Yeah.
So how does it do that? Like how can it run 1,200?
That's just at its fastest speed. So what happens a lot of times is these flash dryers have these sensors on them, so they can tell how hot the pallet is, how hot the shirt is.
Right.
That way you don't scorch them, you don't burn them under there.
Okay.
So it's reading that. So that means that once you've started running, as your pallets get hotter, because these are honeycomb pallets, so they conduct heat very well.
Right.
And they hold the heat very well. This starts to read that it doesn't have to flash the shirts as long to reach that temp.
Got it.
So the speed starts to depend on that.
So here's the question: like when somebody says 1,200 shirts per hour, I'm like, because I hear these numbers,
Yeah.
And it's like, how long does it take you to put a T-shirt on this thing?
It depends on how experienced you are. There's people who are
really,
just kind of throw them on, because it's muscle memory. You've been doing it long enough. You know your arms are this far. That's how far your shirt is.
Yeah.
You pull it back. You know exactly where you're dropping it. And all you're doing is look. You know what you're doing.
Just throwing them on.
Yeah. It really just that depends on the operator. A
right.
lot of it.
It's going to depend on the operator. Okay.
Every one of these companies, they're saying 1,200 pieces an hour, 1,000.
Yeah.
It's all relative
What's
to
reality?
Everything around it. You know what I mean? But I have seen them go that fast. I know last year. So have you been over to the atrium?
No.
Yeah, the atrium. It's all rock stuff, and they have every rock press, every rock technician, the president of rock.
Oh, we're on our way.
Even the guys from rock in Portugal, they're all over there.
Okay.
And I don't know if they already did it today, but I think today and tomorrow they're doing the speed test.
I think it's going to be really hard to find somebody that will accept our challenge. I can't even lead up to the question. It's hard to even get them to tell me what the cost of the equipment is, and with a standard straight face, and then quoting these numbers like 1,200 shirts per hour. That's a load of what. So it's going to be really hard, but we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep trying to find somebody that would want to actually participate in that. But we might actually have to do it with a real screen print shop and somebody that actually has the equipment and not be able to work with an equipment manufacturer. So, we've got a long time to kind of work this out. I mean, we don't know when the showdown's going to happen, but I sure will keep trying to find somebody that will participate. We know we're ready. This thing's moving pretty quick. Look at that. This might be moving faster than anything we've seen so far. We're kind of trying to find the skinny on what the real numbers on what a screen printing press like this can do.
So the average for most of my shops that have two people on a press, a loader, unloader, probably 700 to 900 an hour.
700 to 900.
Right. But
Finished
that's two
shirts,
people. Right.
ready to go,
Yep.
delivered to
Yep.
the customer.
Yep. Most average shops, if they're a one press shop, they're probably running one person on the press.
Yeah.
They're going to get 200 to 400 an hour.
Okay, see, those sound more realistic numbers that I've heard from real screen printers.
And you got to keep in mind that most normal size shops,
Yeah.
not the mega shops,
Right,
they're not printing 1,000-piece orders all day.
right,
They're printing 25, 50, 100, whatever.
right.
Well, so then I never get into rhythm. I just,
Yeah.
I'm not really going very fast.
And then, it states that you could do 800 shirts an hour or 1,200 shirts an hour, but reality is probably still closer to 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the press is capable to do it. Humans are not.
The humans are not.
It's just not. It's not a failing of anything. It's just I have to load and unload shirts. And you go, well, then obviously I'm going to put two people on the press because I can get to 600 an hour.
Right.
Maybe if
Right.
those two people sync up well.
Right.
If they don't sync up well, I went down to 300 an hour.
Yeah. So tell me this: how much does a machine like this cost? Just ballpark. I'm not looking for.
So to get it, you signed it today. You're printing shirts tomorrow. 130,000, somewhere in that range.
130,000.
And then the dryer, so that's going to range anywhere from probably 25,000 up to 50,000, depending on what your numbers are, what you're trying to do.
What is your opinion of like the DTF printing revolution? And it's
I think it's cool. It would not surprise me to walk down this show floor and find my 87-year-old parents selling a DTF machine.
gotcha.
Like, Mom,
What are you doing?
because everybody's selling it.
Yeah.
They all come from China. They
Yeah.
all come from the same place in China.
Right.
When we got into it, we have it sounds arrogant, but we have a reputation. We sell top-end stuff.
Right.
We sell the Austrian press. We sell an Italian dryer. We
That's
can't
nice.
have a clunky DTF machine.
No.
So our guy.
Are you all selling DTF printers now? Okay.
Ours is, I would say, the most expensive one.
Okay.
But it was spec'd out. It has 3 heads instead of 2.
Right.
It has a $5,000 computer. It's never going to take screen print away.
Right.
It makes marginal screen printers heroes because they can DTF something they could never print.
Gotcha.
And it's a tool.
Yeah.
I feel like saying that embroidery is going to take away from screen printing. It's not. It's another method of decorating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so what if a company thought that they could compete with a screen printer like this? I mean,
And a DTF?
in a DTF, I think it would take 2, and it would probably take more operators. But would you guys ever be interested in running a trial, like a competition? We could make a big production out of it. And
Here's the problem.
yeah,
Is that any of those I've seen several throughout the years. I've been in this industry a long time.
yeah, I can tell.
People like who they like and they don't like who they don't like.
That's right.
And they believe nothing.
Yes.
So you go, okay, we're going to have you guys do DTFs and this. Well, what was the design and what was the garment? How did it print? Blah, blah, blah. That's the unfortunate piece. How we approach it is, if somebody's considering this press, we'll bring them to our facility in Minnesota, or I'll bring them to a customer,
Yeah.
and we'll print their job and go,
Right.
how'd you like it? Was it
Yeah.
fast enough? How'd you do? DTF, I'll print the samples for them, and they can see firsthand, did that make sense? Did I like that? Was it cost effective?
That was a really good talk. I mean, I think he was a really nice, interesting person. But he's the first real person I was like, hey, do you think somebody would do a showdown with us? I actually got up the courage to say it, and I think that was a no. So I guess we won that competition already. But what's going through my mind is that we might actually need to buy one of these presses and just keep it at the StarCraft headquarters so that we can compete with ourselves. That might be the showdown. All right, so we found the arena. There it is. So we've been all over the main floor of the show, and we've talked to so many people today, but we're not gonna go into the arena because we want you to stick around for day 2. We're gonna call it a day, go get some rest, recuperate. This is Mike White, StarCraft, and 143vinyl.com, signing off. We'll see day 2 tomorrow. Thanks so much.